Hey Brickmaniacs, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Brickmania Designers Studio. Here on this channel you will find comprehensive breakdowns of pretty much everything that Brickmania releases from the designers themselves, and we thought what a better way to kick off this lineup, or to kick off this channel, than with this lineup. This is the Project Ukraine, the initial Project Ukraine lineup.
First week
spiraled out from there on. But Dan helped design the 1/35th scale of this fulcrum, and then we have some of the other additions as well. So here we are to take a little closer look at this, because this is the first time we've been able to showcase things like all the printing, the minifigures, everything that has gone into this lineup, which is this point is now 7 weeks.
Yes.
7 weeks of work.
And they're finally starting to come off the production.
Exactly.
So some people have already gotten theirs in the mail. We're working on getting the rest. They will be out shortly, and there's still some copies that you can just order straight up, and they'd be shipping out within this week. So it's your opportunity, and we're going to try to keep these restocked often. So even if they do sell out initially, we'll try to get other additional batches in. The need is great. The need is going to be ongoing, so we'll keep going with them. Yeah, and it's been really cool to see not only the community response, but just how fast and effective we've been able to streamline some of these efforts. But of course, this is a Lego channel, and what we want to take a look at is these builds. So, man, looking at this printing, looking at this comprehension, where do you want to start with it all? Well, do you want to start with the 1/35th scale?
Yeah, let's definitely start here.
All right, well, let me pull the airplane off it's on this pedestal here.
Here, we can put the other ones up on the rotation.
There we go.
You can hold on to that one.
Get this close to the camera.
There we go.
So the one thing about this, it's a continuation of the design, the original design that we had, original MiG-29 that Cody O'Sell built. I took it and didn't want to reinvent the wheel. It was actually pretty close to what we wanted, so I redesigned the wings, got them up to current standards. Did some stuff here and there, built it a little bit more solid. We have a little bit bigger budget, and of course we went from all stickers to all print. Yeah. So there's quite a, it is from the inside out a completely different aircraft based on the original dimensions and general shape. So wings completely redone. Look at that printing. I mean, that's like the most awesome part.
I could not believe how well it turned out, even on this smaller scale too. Just how well it came together. Very, very impressive.
That was something that we wanted to, all these aircraft, these MiG-29s that the Ukrainian Air Force have, they put it in this crazy digital pattern. It's very similar to the original pattern, but they digitize it, so it's unique to Ukraine. Printing on the wings, printing on the back, printing on the tail here. There is actually there's an air brake on the back here, and even the air brake top is printed.
Yeah, so. All right.
And then you have, of course, you have printing on the stabilizers. The only stickers on the whole aircraft are on the canopy there.
And then the optionals on the side,
these kill markings. But you also get a whole multitude of different markings that you can put on there.
Depending on how effective you've been.
Right. How many kills your ghost has claimed.
Exactly.
So we're going to work on a whole separate video talking about the origin of the whole Ghost of Kyiv story. That's something that we want to do in the future. We want to continue this because it's actually a really interesting story. And as far as we can tell you, the ghost is real. The ghost is a real person and is still alive today. So,
and it's amazing how much, like, when that stuff starts to come to light, just how incredible. You think to yourself when you hear these urban legends, you're like, well, that's just an absurd story. And then you find out the truth behind it all, and you're like, it's just absurd as the legends.
Right. I mean, we are Lego people. And we build Lego aircraft, but we also have a connection to the military community. So we do get some word out. Some of it's sort of secondhand, some of it's more firsthand, some of it we're not even supposed to know, but we find these things out. So that's the one thing we can tell you that we have. We have people will give us the word that this is real, and we believe it. So we're going with that, and we'll stick with that.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So aircraft wise, I mean, it does come on the stand. This stand is just a classic.
Love that printed tile in the front there too. Really makes it look nice.
It's a classic Brickmania aircraft stand. We've been using it for years, and it's just updated for this particular aircraft. You do get all kinds of cool little play features with this thing. We do have the missiles on here. These are Soviet era air-to-air missiles. I'm not sure if this is the right configuration. We were going with what we were told to put on there. I've seen pictures where they have it with the other way around. That they have 4 of the smaller and 2 of the larger.
Oh, interesting. So okay.
They're the Archer and the Alamo missiles, respectively. So you do have the moving the flaps, I should say.
Flaps and ailerons. Yep.
So they all function.
Looks like they pose nicely too. They're not just like flipping around.
All right, yeah, they're not loose. They're definitely sturdy on there.
That's always important.
Opening landing gear doors. Looks like we have two of the landing gear doors are actually, or the main landing gear, the front landing gear is deployed, but not the rear. I pulled this model out of GHQ, so it's displayed the way it was displayed there. I could try to get one of these landing gear to
Pop it on out.
right without like a screwdriver. It's gonna be a little difficult. But
They're tucked in there, but
yeah,
functional.
Yeah, definitely. Let me get this door back on there.
This is another reason to lead with the 1/35 scale ones too, because as epic as the rest of this collection is, the 1/35 is where you're going to have those play features because it's big enough to integrate them in.
Right, and you can pose it any way you want. Let me get these missiles.
Plus, it's been such a long time coming. Like I've said, I think the initial announcement for these kits was somewhat like 7 weeks ago, and then we turned them around, and pretty much as soon as Dan had that thing built and ready to rock, they were up on the website, ready to move. And so now we're coming to fruition and actually getting to see them.
Yeah, this is cool.
In production.
I actually I went down to GHQ yesterday to go look for some things, and I saw this on the counter. I was like, "Well, it's done." I never saw it completed, so I was super excited to see it 100% complete and on display. Oh, let's get that figure out too.
Yeah, we'll check it out. We'll have Landon in it a little bit to take a little closer look at that bad boy.
So you do get a figure that is, to the best of our knowledge, at the time that we put this together, this is what we were basing on what the leaked pictures of the Ghost was, and we're going with that. There's actually
Source material, right?
Right, and there's actually banners of this guy, hanging on government buildings and stuff. So he's actually quite a famous person over there as well. So.
Inspiring the morale, yeah.
Right. So that's it for the 1/35 scale. I mean, it's impressive. It's sturdy. It has all the features that you'd expect. And there's still some left. If you could and support this, it's a great cause to support. Every one of these that we sell generates revenue that goes directly to support the refugees and victims of the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, if you are not normally a Brickmania aircraft person, or maybe you're just not normally a Brickmania large kit collector person in general because of the investment that comes with it, this is definitely the time to break that mold and pull the trigger on something like that. Because not only are you getting an incredible creation, but you're doing a lot of good at that same time.
Right, and this is like the kind of the pinnacle. I mean, as far as it's a solid build, good printed parts, and it's a great cause. So this is a top shelf kit for sure. Which is not taking away from these smaller guys here.
No, not at all. I mean, the entire lineup itself is really, really cool. So we've done this portion before, but we haven't been able to see it with its new printing. So I'm going to go through the breakdown real quick. We're going to start off with Nathan Cragin's builds. So now remember, this kit comes with the bricks to create this, but instructions to build both of them. Right. Understood? Only these bricks are included, but you get instructions to build them both.
So the bigger one is 1/72 scale. So about half the scale. I mean, it's exactly half the scale, just about of the bigger Ghost. Yeah, it does have a little.
Check out that printing.
Yeah. So yeah, printing on the wings. The tail markings are actually brick built. That's the same for both the 1/72 scale, and then this is a 1 to 120 scale. So that's actually micro brick battle.
Right.
It's interesting because we've been adding all these Ukraine benefit kits, and it's kind of taking away from some of our normal releases. We're putting out less quantities so we can do the emergency, the war emergency stuff. But man, are we going to have a backlog of kits to restock? And there's just so many more ideas. The community has really gotten together. So Nathan Creagan, which is Brick Squadron on Instagram, which you may know, he's actually done some stuff for us in the past. The X15, X1.
Yes, he did the micro scale one of those.
Yep, not X15. Sorry. It's been a long,
little older one.
Yeah. So these two. One, you get both sets of instructions, but only the bricks to build this.
Yes.
If you build it, you get this, you're going to have a lot of what you need to build the other one.
Yeah, if you just want to enjoy the instructions, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But you still will have to get your own bricks to do the micro scale one.
And then to complete the lineup, we also have one more. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. We got to cram all this information in one video. I didn't need to hear me
so
talking.
Moving on, we have NK Customs, Nicholas Kramer.
Yep.
His creation here.
So this is more of a general micro scale.
Yep.
It's a little bit smaller than the other planes, the other models, but it has more to it. You're seeing the aircraft on its stand, which is included with it. It does have some printing on the wings there. What you're not seeing is it does have landing gear that are optional. They're
bricks included.
Yep, they're not there. So
printing on the tail as well.
Yep. So you do have 4 printed elements on it. And then, of course, the landing gear, which we just don't have on this model. So we pulled this one out of a display case on the GHQ.
Yeah.
So this is what we got.
I love the creativity in this build, too, just at this scale, to have the missile firing and to even have, the afterburners rocking. It's just really cool to see some of that. And then, obviously, the integration of the colors into the display stands really neat as well. So, really, you can't go wrong with any portion of this lineup or the entire lineup in and of itself. We will, in future, go through some of the other Project Ukraine stuff that we've done, but we thought that a good inaugural video for this channel and for kicking off the Designers studio return would be with this lineup here as well. So is there anything else you want to touch on before we bring in Landon to talk about the Ghost?
No, because there's so many more. There's so many more of these Ukraine benefit videos to get through. Yeah, you don't need to hear any more from me. There'll be the other designers, other helpers. That'll be coming in over the next few weeks, and I look forward to seeing them.
Perfect. With that, we'll turn things over to Landon, our minifigure artist here. Where did you start?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's there's the popular images that were in the early days of the war that inspired this, right? There's the mythos kind of behind this ghost figure.
Right, and accuracy aside, it was all mixed together from a lot of different sources.
Right, right, and I mean, much like as I found with designing the infantry, there's a ton of different gear from all over from NATO, from the Soviet Union, their own locally made stuff. So it really is a melting pot of different countries and different equipment. So that was true with the infantry, and no different with the pilot and their equipment as well. So this was going off of some early source images, pre-conflict, if not like very, very early on in the conflict. And then like since then, there's a lot more that has come out. So it'd be cool to hopefully, you know, if we give them the chance, have an updated source maybe down the road. But this again would represent early war, if not pre-war. First of all, that iconic leather jacket. We did confirm that he was wearing it in the early days of the war, and we found some source images with that. And it's just like this iconic, you know, leather jacket that pilots are wearing.
From way, way back when, all over the world. I mean, that has been the iconic look. So it's crazy to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as modern as it gets.
Still wearing the leather jacket. We got some compression, like anti-G pants during like intense maneuvering. I did find since then, so this is just a guess. You know, they're working with different countries, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is more of like a NATO cut to those pants. There is a Soviet cut that I did find some pictures later on. So again, there's a lot of gear that's just sort of transitional in this. So
well, and how is it following something real time?
Yeah, and
I mean, that's
just
nuts.
Bizarre. So it's you know, with a lot of other figures, the source info that you got, you know, it's out there, it's documented. Some of this stuff like just isn't quite as documented yet, and then as it comes out, you're almost seeing it real time. So that's been really crazy with, especially like the infantry, just seeing stuff documented real time. The uniform, I believe it's an M14 is the name of the camouflage pattern. So it's a digital camo pattern, and I think there's either two variants or there's just a lot of variant in the dye itself or the fabric, but this is a more arid kind of color. So that's underneath that leather jacket. You have that pixelated camo uniform. This is just sort of outside of the aircraft configuration, so that he's not wearing the parachute harness. There is a really iconic parachute harness that at the time of making this guy, I did not have artwork for it. Maybe, you know, get a chance down the road, we can come up with an updated version that has that parachute harness, because it is a crazy harness that goes with this guy. So checking out that 3D printed helmet, that's a brand new design. I think that is of French origin.
Oh, interesting.
There is also a really iconic Soviet one that they wear as well. So, but we were just going off of the first sort of images that came out. So brand new helmet for that, brand new oxygen mask for that. Underneath that 3D printed helmet, since we don't know the identity, super secret.
I thought this was actually a really great choice on your guys' part.
Super secret. I wanted something kind of spooky and ominous, so
or that it could be anyone.
Or anybody, right? So we opted for this custom printing. It's kind of it's a skull face, and then it has that silhouette of the jet replacing the nose. So this is based off of there's a patch that they have that just shows the ghost. So, a little spooky face. Maybe we'll get that printed in glow in the dark someday. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
who knows?
This is not glow in the dark, but you know, maybe someday. Maybe someday. Anything else, man?
No, if you've gone through the figure, that's
we've gone
cool.
through the figure.
I'm just still taking it all in. It's so wild to think about this entire project happening in real time, and then you're bouncing around in between the different vehicles, and then the designers are trying to, you know, learn different things about vehicles, figures, all this kind of stuff, literally as it's coming out.
Big time crunch too with everything.
Yeah, right. Not to mention the time constraint of trying to get those donations where they're supposed to go. But it's just been a heck of an undertaking. It's really, really cool to see it come to fruition. And I think that is another reason too why bringing back this Designer Studio channel, I don't think there is a better option for an inaugural video that we have to kind of lead this thing off. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. This is kind of the format that we're going to have moving forward with these. Go ahead and leave feedback in the comments as always. Otherwise, thank you, Landon, and thank you very much for watching.